Hello everybody and welcome back to 5 Minute Crypto. Let's talk about the Bitcoin price. As it currently stands, we are still very close to the top that we saw back in 2017. And as I said before, the moment that we break through and get ourselves some confirmation, the first next Bitcoin price that I'm going to be watching for, and actually as short I'm going to be opening towards, is $16.4 thousand. It might not come to that though, as we also showcased earlier, every single time that the RSI has been this low for Bitcoin, it's signaled a bottom. And here's actually one other indicator that it showcases that really soon might be the bottom for Bitcoin, as every single time that the Pi cycle has flashed bottom, it's been because of this crossing of the moving averages. As we scroll through here, you can see every single time it closes around, or I should say crosses, it signals a bottom. And look at exactly what we have right here. It is looking as if we're going to see a bottom very shortly, as the cross is about to happen. Just a quick update on the dominance, is still looking the same as we discussed yesterday. And actually, before I move on, I want to see if we can actually get to 50 likes on this video. If you guys are watching this right now, just let me know you guys are alive by pressing that like button. It's greatly appreciated. On the short term, there's actually one other trade that I'm going to be looking for here regarding Bitcoin. As we've seen before, we've had lower highs for a very significant amount of time. It could be, though, that we're actually starting to make higher lows from here, though, which is going to be interesting to watch. But right now, the only thing which I'm watching for is to see whether or not Bitcoin is actually going to break out of this broadening descending wedge and actually basically continue on with the trend like we are showcasing right here, or break out and get to the quote-unquote price objective right here, roughly at around 21.5 thousand. But honestly, usually, whenever there's a pattern like this, we just wait for the breakout of the wedge towards the upside, and then we get bullish, we go long. But right now, one thing I'm really watching for closely is this 19.9K barrier right here, which basically our previous stop that we saw even earlier today. But that top is pretty significant because if we do not break through, I would say that this broadening descending wedge is actually still continuing, because let's say we hit only a price of about 19.8K, we can actually just broaden this out just a little bit and it would still actually suffice. But the moment that we break above our previous resistance though, here at about 19.9K, that's when I really consider it broke the wedge, and that's also when I'm going to open up a long position and take it all the way towards 21.5, something along those lines. I've also been really focused on this specific Fibonacci right here. Again, if we take a look from swing low to swing high here and just check out what the points of interest are on this chart, we can see, hey, we actually got ourselves two rejections here at the 0.382, which I personally think is the most important marker, together with the 0.618, but they're basically one and the same, depending on whether or not you put this as your 1 or as your 0. What I mean with that is you could have reversed this and the points would still be the same, but they just have a different name at that point. And the fact that this descent is actually going together with such volume, it showcases that there's a lot of bears trying to take out, or rather preventing the bulls from breaking through this barrier right here, the 0.382 Fibonacci level. That is a very bearish short-term sign. Looking at it though, there's still a little bit of room for a potential breakout, because as it currently stands, we can actually see a pattern in there, a pennant, or either just a symmetrical triangle. And depending on whether or not it actually would be considered or considers as a bearish pennant, I would say our price target should be roughly around the lowest point right here, which is roughly already at 19,000, which I think is relatively low. If it's a symmetrical triangle, again, we could take either side right here, 19.6 or even about 19K. But I think that the moment that we do consider ourselves a breakout, or we have ourselves a breakout, the moment that we start to spike or go some direction, I think it's going to go rather hard, as we've been waiting to move to either side. Having said that, I think it's still worth it to watch the stock market and to see how that one's moving. Today has not been a really good day for the stock market, I guess. I guess it's actually mediocre. So the start of the day was really positive, which led me to believe that the entire day for crypto was going to be positive, but today has not really showcased that just quite yet. It's actually bringing me to one very important point. It is looking as if the correlation between the stock market and the crypto market is lowering over time. It's really crazy to watch this. Regarding XRP, the structure that we provided earlier is still holding up, which basically says right now we can't really take any trade just quite yet. There's a strong bottom that's formed over the last couple of weeks, and right now it's looking as if we're bouncing off of this new trend line rather than the actual bottom itself. It's still within this demand zone though, this little push that we saw until yesterday, as is basically the bottoms that we saw on the 13th, 14th, 18th, and 19th. However, it's going to depend on what exactly the price action is going to look like today, and whether or not we're going to actually bounce off of this symmetrical triangle bottom here and going to see the upside again. But again, we're only going to trade this the moment that we get a breakout going, but preferably a breakout towards the upside, of course, because I'd rather long XRP than short it. As I've already told you guys before, I think XRP is one of those tokens that you really can't go wrong with over longer periods of time. It's only a little bit difficult on the short term, as there's not really that many bullish incentives, except for, of course, all the news that's bullish, but this lawsuit in the US is really keeping it down. So let's see how this plays out. As I said before with the stock market on y'all, if you just keep buying the dip and just keep on buying over longer periods of time, you really can't go too wrong. And I still think the same thing about Bitcoin and Ether for that matter. If you're opening up a long position, I think if you just keep stacking it your way down, you'll be in a really good position in a little while. But honestly, we're just going to have to watch and wait and see if this bottom from the top of 2017-18 is going to hold up, or if we're going to break down lower. And again, the moment that we break down lower, I'm going to open up a short and get it all the way towards 16.2 thousand. If you guys already know, my bullish scenario, right, is that we break above 20,000. I'm going to open up a long position to 21.6. And if you're looking for a platform to trade, make sure you check out the link down below for Bybit, as you have a couple of $1,000s worth of bonuses over there, which I think is very juicy. And there's also a very big trading competition going on right now. It's a team one, so make sure you check it out. And again, make sure you press that like button.